Hello, everyone out there in Rumble X and YouTube land. Welcome back to Diego Knows. I, of course, am Diego. And today we're going to continue to talk about Mean Girls from 2004. We're almost done. However many videos it takes. We're going to talk about this movie. I'm going to get it out of my system. Just imagine you're taking a big, big bowel movement. I'm getting it all out of there. Okay, getting it all out of there, right? Excuse me. That way, I never have to talk about this video again. Never have to talk about this movie again, all right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to give you a straight man's point of view. I'm going to tell you what I think about the movie from a guy's point of view, a straight guy's point of view, okay, which was not considered, had nothing to do with the making of this movie. This movie was written by Tina Fey. She based it on a book that she read. I don't know who wrote the book. But anyway, it was the first movie she ever did herself. She ever wrote. She worked on Saturday Night Live back in the early 2000s. Most of you already know that. Okay, before she started her TV show 30 Rock and all that. Okay, a very talented woman, very funny. She also did improv in Chicago. Okay, at Second City. I'm from Chicago. I know very well. This movie takes place in a suburb of Chicago. Okay, in Evanston. Okay, which is a northern suburb of Chicago. Okay, so I know that area very well. And because I'm from Chicago. So Tina Fey started off there. She got on Saturday Night Live, went to New York, okay, and she did the Weekend Update over there, okay. And then she also writes a lot of comedy, and she decided to pitch this screenplay to her boss, the creator of Saturday Night Live, the executive producer, Lorne Michaels. Now, if you all know, Lorne Michaels has a habit of turning very popular Saturday Night Live characters, okay, sketch characters into movies, okay. He did it with the Blues Brothers, which I think is probably the best example ever. I think that movie is flawless in my opinion, okay. He took an act that Dan Aykroyd, John Belushi did on Saturday Night Live, a musical act no less, and turned that into a 2.5 hour movie, okay. Incredible, one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life. Like, one of my favorite movies of all time is The Blues Brothers. All right, so it's very successful. So that started him on the bandwagon of doing that. He also did another movie, Ladies Man. That's a very lesser known movie. If you're a guy and you're around my age, you've seen the movie. Okay, a straight guy, you've seen the movie. It's very funny. Tim Meadows, who's in this movie as well as the principal, he plays. What the fuck's his name? I forgot. Leon Phelps, the ladies man. It's a lady. Okay, that motherfucker, right? Hilarious. That was a skit he did on Saturday Night Live. Very funny. They turned to a movie. The movie was not very successful, but they gave it a chance. Okay, but Lorne Michaels keeps doing that. He did that with the Coneheads. In the 90s, he made a Coneheads movie. Now, the problem with that was that the Coneheads was very popular on Saturday Night Live, but it was very popular in the late 70s, okay, not in the early 90s. All right, so that was some bad time. That movie should have come out like in 1979, 1980, not in 1993 or 92, whenever it came out. Okay. They also did some very terrible movies like It's Pat. Okay. Julia Sweeney used to do this skit on Saturday Night Live in the early 90s where she played this non-binary fucking like sexless character. Like, you didn't know if it was a man or a woman, named Pat. Okay, and like that was the whole joke, is like the other person she'd be interacting with would have to try to figure out if he's talking to a man or a woman without just asking her, hey, are you a man or are you a woman? Like, nobody did that. They just like would walk around the topic, and stuff. I mean, they even did a funny skit where Harvey Keitel like actually had sex with her in the dark, and he still couldn't tell if it was a man or a woman. So that's the kind of stuff that they did, which is funny as a skit, but they tried to make a 2-hour movie out of that, and it just did not work. There's another one, Molly Shannon. Okay, she did this Mary Catherine Gallagher, this like Catholic schoolgirl on Saturday Night Live. They turned that into a movie called Superstar. Okay, and where she's just this clumsy girl who's always like reciting scenes from movies and stuff. And then it always ends with her fucking falling backwards and knocking a lot of shit over, and her skirt is always like up to her fucking, up to her pussy hairs and stuff. It's just crazy, And she sticks her fingers in her armpits and smells, just whatever. Okay, it was a funny skit on Saturday Night Live in the 90s, but they turned it into a 2-hour movie and nobody wanted to go see that. So the point is that a lot of these movies from Saturday Night Live that he creates, Lorne Michaels owns the movie. So if he gets a hit, he owns it. It's his. Okay, he's got to get paid in order to make a sequel. All right. This movie, not so much. I mean, he owns the movie, and they did make a sequel. I don't think he owns it anymore. He might. I'm not really sure. I know Tina Fey's already walked away from this thing. Okay, but they did make a straight to DVD sequel to this movie, which I am not going to see. Don't even ask me. Apparently, no one saw it. It's not as good as this one. Okay, and they made a remake. They made a remake of this movie that came out this year. I'm not making that up. In fact, you probably already know this. All right. I honestly, I'll be honest with you, I did not know there was a remake of this movie at all until I started reviewing this movie. I picked this movie just because I know it's one of those that was on my list. I know a lot of girls that I've dated have told me to watch this movie. I have an ex-girlfriend that made me watch this movie for the first time, you know, because she told me it was so realistic. It was just like her experience in high school, you know, bullshit. Okay, but that's how I decided to do this movie. It's like, okay, it's on the list of those movies I'm gonna get around to doing. Okay, eventually I'm gonna get around to fucking Sweet Home Alabama and Legally Blonde. Yes, those are coming. Those are down the pipeline. Okay, I already did The Notebook. I've already done fucking Thelma and Louise. I've already done what the fuck? I can't Breakfast at Tiffany's. I said The Notebook. I already did Pretty Woman. I already did My Gay Friend's Best Gay Wedding. I already did that one. Okay, so I've done a lot of movies. They're all on this channel. Okay, and I've done every single episode of Sex and the City. Yes, I've also done every episode of that abortion of a sequel and Just Like Crap. That's what actually got me started on this YouTube channel, was Sex and the City, okay? Because they were coming out those episodes and Just Like Crap. And me being a straight guy, I actually watched every fucking episode of Sex and the City. And I actually watched it back in the day when it first came out. Yes, I did. I did it because I thought I would learn some things about getting laid. You know, well, I learned a lot of shit, but none of it helped me get laid. It was just stupid. It just showed me that women were just as much capable of being as pieces of shit as men are. That's all I learned. All right, but yeah. So that's what started me off on this channel. Okay, and that's the unique perspective I think I give. But back to the topic here. Okay, I had no idea they were going to make. They were rebooting or remaking Mean Girls as a musical, no less. Okay, until I started reviewing it this time. I was like, holy shit! They already rebooted it. Like, damn. Okay. I am not going to watch this reboot. No, you cannot pay me enough money to watch it. I'm not going to fucking watch it. Okay, so I'm not going to review it. In fact, the only thing I know about it is they changed the races of the girls. Of course they did. It's 2024, right? Because we all know that in 2024, people that are the same race do not sit together in the cafeteria. It's always mixed. Okay, anyway, yeah, I know, right? I mean, just the fact that these girls, that the plastiques are bitches, okay? They're like these elitists in high school. They think they're better than everybody else, you know? But yet they do honor diversity. And let me tell you something about Evanston, Illinois, where this movie takes place, okay? It's a very white neighborhood, okay? It's a very white, mostly Jewish neighborhood. In fact, we called it, when I worked there, we called it Evanstein because it was so Jewish, okay? And actually, a lot of actors in Hollywood actually come from there. They come from Evanston. You'd be surprised how many, I keep reading about people that when they're from Illinois, they're like from Evanston. A lot of actors, especially a lot of character actors, they're from Evanston, Illinois, and they go off to Hollywood. Anyway, so it's a very Jewish population, a very rich white Jewish suburb of Chicago, okay? Like the parents work in the city, but they don't live in the city. They live in Evanston, okay? You take the Metro train north, okay, and it drops you off in Evanston. You don't even have to drive to the city, okay? That's how a lot of people do it, okay? So yeah, I've been there, all right? So I'm not going to watch the 2024 new Mean Girls movie, which is just a remake of this. In fact, the only thing I really know about it, besides the diversity, but they did keep Regina, the evil bitch. They did keep her white though, so I guess that's something, right? Okay, no message there, okay? The girl that plays Katie, I recognize her from the Spider-Man movies. Okay, Spider-Man: Homecoming. She plays Betty Brant. Okay, who was a high school student. Okay, in the Spider-Man movies, the new ones. Okay, that she falls in love with the fat Laotian kid that's supposed to be Peter Parker's best friend. Even though in the comic book she was actually Peter Parker's girlfriend, but we know that this Spider-Man only likes black girls. Okay, so she can't contend with that. All right, and I guess that's just Tom Holland's lot too, because they're making a new Romeo and Juliet movie, and Tom Holland's Juliet is going to be a black woman in that one. Yeah, I'm sure Shakespeare approves. But anyway, so that's why I don't know the girl's name, okay, but I know she plays Katie, and I recognize she played Betty Brant in the new Spider-Man movies. Okay, very forgettable character. Okay, Elizabeth Berkley played that same character in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. Okay, and played her correctly. She was actually a secretary working for J. Jonah Jameson at the Daily Bugle, which was Peter Parker's job as a photographer. He worked at the Daily Bugle for J. Jonah Jameson, and he fell in love with her secretary. They dated for a while when he was in high school, and then they broke up, and blah blah blah. Okay, I read the comic books. Okay, even though those issues were written before I was born, I read the reprints. Okay, growing up, so I know the whole story about that. All right. But that's where I recognize her from, and that's it. I don't recognize her from anything else, okay? So fuck it. Anyway, so let's get on to Mean Girls here, okay? I'm going to use Straight Man's point of view. If you're just the offended, get the fuck out right now. I'm not going to censor myself, okay? I know YouTube doesn't like me on here, but I don't care. If just one of you persons wants to know what a straight guy thinks, I'm the guy to talk to, okay? Because I pull no punches here. I'm going to tell you what a real guy thinks about these fucking movies, okay? If you're not prepared to listen to me like that, if you're not prepared to, to take what I'm saying as my opinion, not your. I'm not telling you your opinion. I'm just telling you my opinion and why my opinion is this way. Okay, I'm not telling you what to think. If you love the movie, of course you love the movie. I know you fucking love the movie. And if I love the movie, I would tell you. Okay, I've been pleasantly surprised when I started doing this YouTube channel. Okay, some movies I had never seen before. Okay, and I thought they were going to be a piece of shit feminist propaganda. And then I saw, oh my god, it's actually pretty good. Like I was bringing this up with Thelma and Louise. I'd never seen that movie before until like a year and a half ago when I decided to review it. I'd never seen Thelma and Louise before, but I kept hearing women talk about it all the fucking time. I know it's the movie that made Brad Pitt a thing, okay? And so I finally watched it a year and a half ago, and I was like, oh my god, this is fucking good. Like, this is legitimately good. This is a good fucking movie. You know, it moved me emotionally. You know, who would have thought that a fucking chick flick would move me? You know, but it did, you know? So I was I was expecting to bash that movie, and I ended up loving it. I still love it. I'm going to watch it again. I thought Thelma and Louise was a very good movie. Very well done. You know, I have very little bad to say about it. All right. So I give you, I'm non-biased here. Okay. I'm just going to tell you what I think. Okay. And this is why I think. All right. So you can agree with me or don't agree with me. That's fine. Okay. I've said it before. Okay. The biggest problem I have with this movie, I have no problem with the genre. I have no problem with it being a high school teeny bopper movie. Okay. With popular girls bullying, drop dead gorgeous, but not popular girl. I mean, I have no problem with any of that stuff. The gay kid at school, the teachers fucking their students, all the teachers being a bunch of fucking idiots. All the adults in this movie are all a bunch of fucking idiots. Okay. All the men in this movie or the boys in the movie are all a bunch of fucking idiots. Okay. And the popular evil rich girls are all a bunch of fucking idiots. Okay. The only smart one is the main character. I mean, I can get through all that. The biggest problem I have is that, like, it's very hard for me to see these plastiques, okay? Regina, Karen, and Gretchen. It's very hard for me to see them as a threat. Like, these are supposed to be the most popular girls at school, okay? But yet Katie walks in there and just fucking takes over like that. Like that, with almost no resistance at all. Okay, she doesn't even have to come up with a plan on how to do it. Okay, her lesbian coded friend there, Janice, came up with the whole plan already, well before she ever met Katie. She already had a plan of how to take down the plastiques. Okay, and especially their leader Regina. She already had a whole plan on how to do it. Okay, she already worked it all out. Okay, I mean, and these are supposed to be the good guys. I know. You know, it's not very believable. Okay, even me when I was in high school, and probably you when you were in high school. Okay, the popular kids, they were there for a reason. Okay, there's a reason they were up there. Okay, usually their brother or something or someone older was popular also. So of course the younger brother, younger sister inherited the mantle. Okay, usually they were rich or they're well off. Maybe not the richest kids in school, but they're well off. They live in a nice neighborhood. Okay, the children drive very expensive cars to school. Okay, that kind of a thing. All right, they wear the most fashionable clothes, the expensive clothes. They wear them. Okay, they have the nicest, all that kind of stuff. Okay, they're physically fit. Usually they play sports. They're in cheerleading or they're in football or something. They're very good at it. Okay, so they already get the accolades from the other parents and from the coaches and from the other kids at school. The cheerleaders all want to fuck the hot football players and stuff. So they're already getting all the attention and the praise that the average student does not get. Okay, that's why they're there. And of course, they've got their own clique. They hang out with their own kind. If you're a football player, you hang out with other football players because they know that their popularity is latched onto you. Okay, same thing with the girls. Okay, it's also about who you date. Okay, you're not gonna date some average kid at school. You know, if you're a popular girl, you're gonna date the popular boy. Okay, or you're gonna date a boy who's in college. Okay, because the popular girls never date a guy in their own grade. They always date a guy that's a year above them or already in college. Okay, that's how it works. Okay, because that makes them more popular. Oh, your boyfriend's a grown up. Oh, he's a freshman. You know, at University of BFU, you know, that kind of thing, you know. So that's how it works, okay? And it's very hard for someone who's already not born into that or not privileged into that to make their way in there. It's very difficult, okay? So there's a reason if you're a girl and you were not part of the most popular girls at school when you went to high school, there's a reason you weren't there, okay? And there's a reason you didn't try to go in there because you knew what would happen if you did. Exactly, okay? And that's typically your normal response. Even me, I was not the most popular guy in high school. I mean, I had friends and stuff. I wasn't a loner or anything like that. But I knew that if I tried to fit in with the really popular guys at school, that they would reject me, okay? They would reject me. All right, because I didn't have as nice a car as they had. I didn't live in the same neighborhood as them. You know, I lived my neighborhood was like middle class. Their neighborhood was upper middle class. Big fucking difference. Big difference. You know, that kind of thing. So it's like, you know, like you're not just gonna get in. Okay, I wasn't great at football. Okay, like they were. Okay, I didn't, you know, that's kind of how it works. Okay, so you can't just walk in there and this girl Katie, who grew up in Africa, who was homeschooled in Africa, and then all of a sudden her junior year in high school, her first time ever going to a public school with other kids, but with other white kids in a fucking suburb of Chicago, a rich Jewish suburb of Chicago. Okay, and she has no skills going to school with other girls and other boys that look like her at all. And like her first day there is kind of like, oh man, nobody likes me. Her second day there, she becomes friends with Janice and the gay guy fucking Damien, and they show her all around. They tell her who's who at the school, who she can sit with, what all the rules are, you know. And she becomes really good friends with them on her second day, even though they're outcasts. And then on her third day at school there, she gets invited to sit at the table of the most popular girls at school. Okay, are you fucking kidding me? Is this a realistic depiction of fucking high school? No, it is not. Now, granted, Lindsay Lohan is a pretty girl, okay, so she does look like she fits in with the plastique. She's pretty. In fact, I would say she's the prettiest one there. Out of the four, Lindsay Lohan's definitely the sexiest one, definitely, at least in my opinion. Okay, out of the four girls there, okay, but can you honestly tell me that in a high school that fucking big, there's no other pretty girls that were pretty enough to sit at that table? It was just Katie? Are you out of your fucking, of course not. And the fact that they don't know anything about Katie, okay, they never seen this girl before, ever. How fuck, she didn't even fucking live in the United States, okay? This isn't some girl that they fucking have known since grade school or junior high or something like that. They just decide, okay, let's have her join. No, this is a total fucking stranger. And they have her join and they decide to share with her their deepest, darkest rituals, their secrets, invite them in their home, give them rights from school, tell them who's fucking who's cool, who's not cool, what the rules are to be one of the popular, what you can wear, what you can't wear, you know, what you can eat, what you can't eat, who you can date, who you can't date. They invite her into the social circle without doing any vetting at all, okay? They're completely clueless that this girl wants revenge on Regina, because Regina took the guy that she had the hots for, even though that guy was already Regina's ex-boyfriend. You know, I mean, and that pissed off Katie, so Katie decided to get revenge. Okay, and well, but she had no revenge scheme. Well, good thing she knew Janice, because Janice already hated the plastique, especially Regina. She already had a plot created, and we're just waiting for some motherfucker to show up in her life that she could use the revenge scheme on. Okay, by proxy, she would get her revenge on Regina and the plastiques, okay? And Katie just happened to walk in that day. She just happened to make friends with the one girl at school who hated the plastiques more than anyone else and already had a plan on how to destroy them, just didn't have anybody to do it for her until she met Katie, okay? So all that shit, I just don't buy it. All right, that's what I don't like about the movie, and that takes me out of the movie, okay? If you can't win me over with the premise, okay, the whole movie's gonna fall apart. It's gonna be shit. All right, and that's what I think of this movie. It's shit. All right, now where we left off last time, we're still in the fucking gymnasium of the high school. They did the confidence test, okay, where the girls, they apologized to everybody for what they did. There was a big fight in school in the hallways. The principal had to stop it. It was just the girls. There were no boys involved in this fight, so there's no boys in the gymnasium getting their ass chewed. Okay, it was just the girls. Like, that's pretty realistic right there, isn't it, okay? So they're all there. Oh, with the exception is the gay guy. Okay, Damien. Damien, even though he's a big, fat, unattractive, tall, fucking gay guy who acts like a fucking prima donna, apparently the school allows him to hang out at this fucking session, which is girls only. Okay, he's there getting his ass chewed like just like all the other girls are, and he's also allowed to use the ladies' bathroom. Okay, in this fucking movie. Okay, he is allowed to go into the ladies' room. Okay, now how the fuck does that happen? Okay, well, they're already calling it, they're just now starting to acknowledge like girls spreading gossip, okay, and starting fights and teachers fucking students and all this kind of stuff that goes on, students fucking each other in the school. Okay, it's just now starting to get acknowledged, but no one ever in this entire movie acknowledges there's a fat fucking 17-year-old boy, okay, who is walking into the fucking girls' bathroom like it's his bathroom. Okay, nobody's complained to the school about it. Nobody has reprimanded this kid about it. He has not been counseled. He's not been kicked out of the ladies' room. He has not been fucking sent home. He's not been in any disciplinary action at all for what he's doing. Okay, apparently he can do it just because he's fucking gay. How very 2024 of you, huh? And this is 2004. All right, I'm just calling it out because the fucking movie never calls it out. All right. So anyway, so we're still in the gymnasium. Gretchen, one of the plastiques, and Karen's still a fucking idiot. Gretchen's still full of herself. So nobody catches her, okay, when she falls over, okay. Regina just found out because Janice went up on the podium and made a big speech where she confessed that she was the architect behind the revenge plot against Regina. Regina insulted her and quit being her friend when they were in middle school. She mistook Janice calling herself Lebanese for being lesbian. So ever since then, Regina referred to Janice as a lesbian and started making fun of her for being a lesbian, like that would ever fucking happen, okay? No, it is not. Even in 2004, it didn't really fucking happen. Yes, there's some girls that are a little bit homophobic and didn't want to be around a lesbian, okay? But most girls didn't really give a shit. Okay, a lot of you girls out there have had lesbian experiences even though you're not fucking lesbians, okay? And it's a cool thing to fucking do, all right? You experiment in shit, okay? You girls do this shit in a way that boys don't ever do this shit, okay? Although more boys are doing it now because they're being shamed into doing it, okay? But back in the day, no, okay? It's not that fucking big of a deal, okay? The real diehard fucking lesbians are ugly, okay, and unattractive, like fucking Janice is, okay? So men aren't even fucking attracted to girls like that. So what the fuck do you got to worry about, okay? The only kind of girl that's gonna fall in love with a girl like that is an unattractive girl as well, okay? So what the fuck? That's fine. You get all the ugly girls, I'll get the hot ones. Thank you very much. We're in it together, right? You know, exactly. And also, you're gonna find out that butch diehard lesbians don't fucking like men. They don't like being around guys. Okay, they don't. You know why? Because we're a legitimate fucking threat. That's why. Okay? You're always going to see gay guys hanging out with straight girls. You will see that fucking forever. Okay? But you're never going to see straight guys hanging out with lesbians. You know why? Because they don't fucking like us. All right? They don't like us for the exact same reason that they hate men. Okay? Okay? It's true. It's fucking true. Now, I'm not saying all lesbians are like that. I've known plenty of lesbians that were friends of mine. Okay, especially in college, okay? No, they didn't have a chip on their shoulder against men or nothing like that, okay? They just didn't want me going into their bars and trying to pick up their women. You know what I mean? Because that's theirs. And I can respect that, you know? Yes, we both look at a hot girl walk by, okay? You know, but, you know, I mean, the lesbian girls that I know, they kind of look like me, you know? They got their hair just like me and shit. So it's like, what the fuck, you know? And the girls that are bisexual, okay, those girls, the lipstick lesbians, those girls like cock too. They like cock and pussy. So what the fuck? You know, ultimately, it's going to come down to something. It's going to come down to like, okay, what are you biologically and just like, you know, what is your instinct tell you want? And for most women, they want masculine energy. You know why? Because they live in feminine energy all the time, okay? It's something different, masculine energy, okay? I'm not saying all girls, but I say most women are. It kind of has something to do with how you repopulate the planet, you know? And the same thing with us. You know, yeah, some guys like each other, okay? But most guys want that feminine energy, okay? Because we live in masculine energy. You see what I mean? Two opposites attract. So, Yeah, so like someone like Janice, okay, even though she might not be a lesbian, she kind of has a lesbian vibe. She's very unattractive. She doesn't care about her appearance. Well, she cares about her appearance in the sense that she wants to provoke people and offend people. Like she wears dark clothing, baggy clothes. She kind of dresses like a tomboy. She's got pitch black hair, which she colored that way. It's got fucking pins and shit all over it. She's got the fucking mascara around her eyes. I mean, she looks like fucking what's his name from fucking Lost, Nestor Carbonell. She looks like fucking Nestor Carbonell with all the fucking, the mascara around her eyes and shit, the eyeliner. So like, she looks nasty. She looks like a lesbian. What the fuck? I wouldn't hit on her. You see what I mean? So she goes out of her way to do that. If she made herself look prettier or more feminine, then people wouldn't automatically assume she's a lesbian. So what the fuck, Anyway, so that's going on, and she's a bitch on top of that. Okay, so anyway, so she confesses on the podium. She tells Regina, hey, I'm the one that got Aaron, your boyfriend, to break up with you. Okay, I'm the one that got Katie to kiss him, which, and thereby she told him that you were cheating on him, and that's why he broke up with you. I'm the one that did that. I'm the one that made you gain weight. I'm the one that got Katie to make you eat those protein kettlebell bars that made you gain weight because you're too much of a dumbass to see that that's what was happening. Okay, and also I'm the one that manipulated the plastiques to turn against you, and all that kind of stuff. I'm the one that told Katie to do all that stuff. All right, so that's kind of what happened there. All right, so now Regina realizes that here she is, the queen bitch. She's been expelled from the plastiques. This is her revenge. Is to Xerox all those pages from the burn book, which is basically a gossip book about all the other students at school, where they write terrible things about them in there. And she basically published it and handed it out to everyone in the school, okay, which is what caused the girls to all fight each other, which caused all that fucking drama. Regina's responsible for it. And Janice calls it out. It goes like, oh yeah, we did all of that. And the reason I did it, I guess, is because I have a lesbian crush on you. So suck that. And they start chanting Janice. Okay, so Janice ends up being the real hero in this fucking movie, despite the fact that Janice is an outcast. She has no friends except for Katie and Damien, the gay guy. Okay, she's ostracized by all the cool kids at school. Nobody will sit with her. Okay, nobody will talk to her. She's an artist, gothic, emo, angry, fucking bitchy artist. Okay, who works at the fucking at the fucking the bath bomb store. Okay, in the mall. All right, and she hates the plastiques and everything they stand for. Okay, and she's the one that gets held up, and they start chanting her name, Janice, 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 because she took revenge on fucking Regina. All right. Now Regina, of course, cannot handle this shit now. She's no longer Queen Bee. Katie is now Queen Bee, and Janice hates Katie too. Because once Katie became Queen Bee, once she became a real member of the Plastique, she actually became a Plastique, a fucking lying, narcissist, manipulative bitch. Okay, and which is exactly what Janice did not want. Okay, Katie to be. Okay, because that would mean that she would be just like her. Okay, see, only Janice is allowed to be the bitch in this story. Only Janice is allowed to come up with a way to fuck someone over, okay? Katie's not allowed to do that to her. You see what I mean? See the hypocrisy of the script here? All right, so anyway, so Regina and Katie lock eyes, okay? Obviously, Katie's starting to feel a little bit, nervous here. She refused to go up on the podium and apologize for anything. When Mrs. Norsberry, that's Tina Fey's character, the math teacher, when she asked her straight out, is there anything you want to apologize for? Because Miss Norsberry knows goddamn well that it was Katie that wrote in the burn book that Mrs. Norsberry was a fucking drug pusher. Hence, the cops went to Mrs. Norsberry's house and searched it, okay? Even though it was a lie, okay? She knows that it was Katie that did it, but Katie does not want to say it was her because she's afraid that she'll get blamed for all the other pages in that book as well. So she just said, nope, I got nothing to apologize for. So now she feels guilty about that. She's basically turned people against her, all right? And she's starting to realize that now, all right? So anyway, so now Katie fucking feels bad, okay? She realizes that not only does she get revenge on Regina, okay, Regina actually gave her the opportunity to be a fucking popular girl at school, something that she did not have to do, okay? And yes, Regina did talk shit to her, but she also talked shit to the other plastiques, okay? Yes, Regina did take Aaron. Okay, Regina knew that Katie had the hots for her ex-boyfriend, Aaron, and she used that information to get Aaron back, okay, to piss off Katie. I think she saw it as a sense of control. It's like, listen, these are rules that I set for all you plastiques, and you have to follow them. If you decide not to follow them, okay, then you're going to pay the consequences. That was Regina just establishing control of her plastiques, okay? But Katie didn't see it that way. Katie said, oh, now you've attacked me. Okay, well, now you're going to get it, bitch. Okay, and well, that's the whole motivating behind this plot. The motivation behind this plot, all right? So basically, Regina was her pathetic attempt to solidify her power base. Okay, she used Aaron as that. Okay, oh, well, you're not allowed to date a guy that I used to date. Okay, and here's why, and I'm gonna fucking take him. Okay, to make sure you don't get to date him. Okay, you see what I mean? Well, Katie took that personal and said, oh, no. You know, she didn't see, oh, Regina sees me as a threat, and she's just trying to protect what she thinks is hers. She didn't see it that way. What she saw is, oh, this girl wants to fuck with me. Okay, we'll see who gets Aaron. You see, that's how she took it. Okay, you see what I mean? So they're both fucking being bitches here. You can't root for either one of them. But what about Aaron, right? Well, he doesn't give a shit. He's just a fucking guy. He's just some fucking a guy pretending to be heterosexual. So of course he's a dumb fuck and doesn't see any of this going on. All right. Anyway, Regina and Katie lock eyes, and then Regina runs away. She runs out of the gymnasium. Katie chases her outside. And of course, her tits are bouncing up and down. Regina's tits are not bouncing up and down because Regina doesn't have any tits. I'm sorry, Rachel McAdams. You're flat chested. Lindsay Lohan is not. So her tits are bouncing up and down, and she's looking good. All right, and she tries to apologize. Katie tries to apologize. Hey, I didn't know that was going to happen, Regina. I didn't know that was going to happen. Okay, and okay, and June, that's Regina's mom, is there waiting for her in the car, acting like a fucking idiot. She thinks she's a teenager, even if she's like 45 years old. And Regina says, like, everyone says you're a homeschool jungle freak who is a less hotter version of me. So you can take that apology and shove it up your... She gets hit by a bus. Now, how's that for a plot contrivance? Right when the drama, the confrontation happens, boom. Regina gets hit by a fucking bus. Now, Katie was standing in the middle of the street, and then Regina was on the sidewalk, but when she started yelling at Katie, she started walking towards her, in the middle of the street, and she gets hit by a bus. Now, what the fuck, okay? Can you honestly, there are rules about how fast you can drive a bus in a school zone, correct? Of course, you got a bus driver there. The bus driver would have already seen Katie in the middle of the street, and he would have stopped the bus anyway. So it would have been safe for Regina to walk towards Katie and give her a piece of her mind. So how the fuck did this happen? Katie wasn't on the sidewalk on the other side of the street. She was in the middle of the fucking street. The bus driver would have seen Katie there, and he would have stopped anyway, regardless of whether Regina started walking towards her or not. So you're going to tell me that the bus driver who did not see Regina walking to the middle of the street did not see Katie in the middle of the fucking street, and he still kept going at 35 miles an hour? Are you out of your fucking mind? How am I supposed to fucking take this movie seriously? All right, at home, Katie's mom is mad at her. Okay, and that's Anna Gasteyer, plays Katie's mom. She's also from Saturday Night Live. You remember she used to do the Martha Stewart impersonation in the early 2000s. She did a lot of stuff with Will Ferrell. Okay, Will Ferrell, they're like these high school music teachers when Will Ferrell would be the bald guy playing the piano and she'd be the fucking singer in the old lady dress, you know, and they would sing stupid ass songs. Anyway, yes, Anna Gasteyer. She did a very good Martha Stewart impersonation. Anyway, so at home, Anna Gasteyer plays Katie's mom. And even though she's apparently a college professor at Northwestern University, she's a fucking dumbass. And if you think she's bad, her husband, Katie's dad, is even more stupid than she is. Okay? They don't understand a goddamn thing of what's going on in their own fucking household. All right? So at home, Katie's mom is mad at her. And Katie says, like, well, my friends hate me now. Mom? My friends hate me. Now Mom hates me too. No, they don't hate you. They're mad at you. Well, maybe the high school kids hate you, okay? But they hate everybody and they like everybody too, you know? Boo-hoo-hoo. Poor Katie. All this shit that she did, she got seduced by power, she exercised it, and now people resent her for it. They resent her for being a bitch. You know, that's kind of how life works, you know? It's hard for me to feel sorry for Katie. She's just as bad as the plastiques are. She didn't save anybody from anything. All of these girls in this movie are a fucking bunch of bitches. Okay? Now, the parents are not mad. They're not mad at Katie because she lied to them about not being able to go to Wisconsin to see some stupid ass fucking African a cappella band. They're not mad at her for that. They're not mad at her for having a fucking a house party in their house while they were out of town. Okay, with a bunch of teenagers having sex, drinking alcohol, and doing drugs in the house. They're not mad at her for that. Okay? Or for the orgies that were going on in the bedrooms. They're not mad at her for that. Okay? The mom is actually mad at Katie because she misplaced her fucking vase. And that's just the mom. Dad, on the other hand, is not mad at all about anything. Don't give a shit. Yeah, these are parents. Okay, Katie will not quit school and go back to homeschooling because Dad says, like, you know what, Sid, maybe we shouldn't have quit homeschooling you. Maybe we should just take you out of school and go back to homeschooling. But Dad, if like the only thing worse than being homeschooled is to admit that I quit school. That's admitting that I quit. I'm not going to quit. Because she's too confident for that. Yeah, you look really confident right now. All right. Dad calls her, you know what, sweetheart? I know you're a lying bitch. You manipulated people. You lied to people. You lied to us. You mistreated our home, you know, and did a lot of illegal things. But you know what, sweetheart? You're a lion. Yes, you are. But because of what you did, you upset your mother. I'm gonna have to. I guess I'm gonna have to. What was that? What's that word? Ground you? I think I'm gonna have to ground you. Yeah. I'm gonna have to ground you. Sorry. You know. Because you know you are failing your math class, so I'm gonna have to ground you. You know. But it's okay. You know, you can still do whatever the fuck you want. Yeah. Wish I had parents like that growing up. Don't you? All right, I'm going to stop my review right here, but I'll be back shortly to continue my reviews of Mean Girls. I thank you very much for watching this long, and I'll see you soon on the next one. Bye.